Hello, welcome to the morning news. Delegations from Cuba and the United States continue dialogues to normalize relations Tuesday, this time centered on the issues of human rights. In Washington, agendas for future meetings on the matter were discussed. Cuban officials said the talks were professional and respectful. They reaffirmed that the dialogues needed to be based on a respect for independence and sovereignty on the countries, including the principle of non-interference in the internal affairs of either nation. Cuba also expressed concerns about the human rights situation in the U.S., particularly the issue of police brutality towards African-American people.
During the meeting, we addressed topics of interest to both delegations, and Cuba communicated concerns regarding the guarantees and protections of human rights in the United States. In that context, we drew attention to the persistent patterns of discrimination and racism and exacerbation of police brutality with patterns of discrimination.
The campaign against the Obama administration's decree, which labels Venezuela a threat to U.S. national security, continues, with President Nicolás Maduro announcing more than 6 million has signed so far. Maduro said the petition campaign demanding the U.S. to repeal measures against Venezuela had passed the 6.2 million signature mark. The campaign looks to obtain 10 million signatures. The Venezuelan president plans to present them to the upcoming summit of the Americas in Panama. 4 opposition parties in Honduras have come together in a coalition to push for discussions with President Juan Orlando Hernandez, who they claim is becoming increasingly authoritarian. Although Hernandez originally agreed to the meeting, the group say he is stealing and evading his rivals. Our correspondent Gerardo Torres has the story.
Honduran President Juan Hernandez has once again rescheduled a meeting with the principal parties of the opposition for after the Holy Week vacation. The opposition is looking to talk about democratic participation in the country and also about how the country is being governed.
For us, the issue of electoral participation is just an addendum. We are worried for the country. We are worried about the electoral system, and we are clear that we are going to put forward a common agenda from different opposition parties that are unified in one thing.
The opposition front is made of the Libre Party, created as a result of the popular resistance against the 2009 coup d'etat, the new anti-corruption party, the Social Democrat Party, and the traditional Liberal Party, who for the last 100 years has alternated in the country's government with the National Party, today in power. However, they have said that they don't expect the president to finally accept their meeting requests, and experts agree.
Democratic participation means dialogue and consensus. It also implies compromises, and at the moment, we are yet to see examples of this. We are looking at a closed system, a system that is not willing to discuss with the opposition and build consensus.
We don't see a chance that the meeting will occur. The president's agenda is very strict and is dictated by the interests of transnational corporations and the United States that are not interested in solving the country's problems. But we will keep pushing.
The political opposition in Honduras claimed in December last year that Hernandez is attempting to do anything to hold on to power. But analysts say that if the president wants to continue to rule effectively, he will have to talk with his political rivals, something he still is yet to show he will do. Gerardo Torres, teleSUR, Central America.
Peru's government is also facing crisis with the Congress sacking the Prime Minister and the prospect of legislative elections in the near future. Our correspondent in Lima, Raul Mora, has more.
For the first time under the 1993 Constitution and only the second time in history, the Peruvian Congress has sacked the Prime Minister Ana Jara. This forces President Ollanta Humala to form a new cabinet and present it for approval by Congress. And if this is not accepted, it will force new legislative elections.
According to the Constitution, if this second cabinet is also sacked or it does not obtain the approval vote, the president could shut down Congress, call for new elections, a new Congress, and for this new Congress to complete the period from now until 2015. It would be unprecedented.
Left-wing forces in Congress have said that their vote to sack the Prime Minister was a difficult one, since the move was led by the right. But they needed to protest Humala's neoliberal government. According to analysts, the vote to sack the Prime Minister has left the president confronting a political crisis.
There are two options. One is for him to choose a cabinet from his party that guarantees minimal coherence and centralized management of issues. The other is for him to listen to the different voices that are asking for a consensual independent cabinet put in place by the economic right of the country.
The new prime minister will be the 7th to take the post since Humala became president in 2011. He will have to present the proposed cabinet by Thursday night, and Congress has 30 days to decide whether or not to approve it. Rafael Mora, teleSUR, Lima.
In neighboring Chile, the death toll from deadly floods in the northern Atacama region has increased to 23, with 57 reported missing. President Michelle Bachelet visited the region in relief centers along with Interior Minister Rodrigo Peña. Chile declared a national emergency as heavy rains in the normally arid region devastated towns and the infrastructure. One week since a Saudi-led coalition began on strikes against Yemen, the death toll continues to rise. An airstrike on Yemeni dairy factory of Hodeidah killed at least 25 workers in what some organizations of the ground are calling the deadliest day in the military campaign so far. The website of the Yemen factionalized army said 37 workers were killed and 80 wounded from the bombing. Meanwhile, UNICEF said at least 62 children had been killed and 30 wounded over the past week in the U.S. back assault. Saudi Arabia began the airstrikes as part of efforts to restore their ally to Yemeni President Mansour Hadi. Criminal court this Wednesday in another important diplomatic step for the nation. Palestinian officials announced that their application to join the Hague base occurred in January, despite opposition from Israeli and the United States. The move sets the stage for potential legal cases against Israeli officials for alleged war crimes, particularly for actions during Israel's Operation Protective Shield, which killed over 2,000 people in Gaza last year. Two members of a radical left group and the prosecutor were killed in Turkey after the group took the lawyer hostage. Security forces entered the building where two members of the Revolutionary People's Liberation Party Front had taken the prosecutor hostage, demanding the government accept responsibility for the death of a young protester. The gunman and the prosecutor were killed in the melee. A gunman also entered the building of the ruling AKP party, although there is no indication of a link to the earlier incident. And concerns about post-election violence in Nigeria proved to be unfounded as the outgoing president conceded defeat and called for calm. As Nigerians' elections authorities confirmed Muhammadu Buhari as the winner of Saturday's hotly contested election, the former military congratulated outgoing President Goodluck Jonathan for conceding defeat. Buhari confirmed that Jonathan phoned in order to congratulate him, while also issuing a statement urging his supporters to accept the result. The 72-year-old general won by just over 2 million votes. Goodluck Jonathan must now officially hand over power in Africa's most populous country on May 29th. And the world's oldest living person died this Wednesday, just weeks after turning 117. Misao Okawa died of old age in a nursing home in the western Japanese of Osaka. Born the daughter of a fabric merchant in 1898, Okawa had 3 children, 4 grandchildren, and 6 great-grandchildren. According to government data, Japan has more than 58,000 centenarians. The oldest living person is now Gertrude Weave from the United States, who will turn 117 in July the 4th this year. More on these on our website, telesurtv.net/English. Thank you for watching and have a nice day.